Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jesse Thomas. It's 11:30, and this is your late CTV News. Tonight, record temperatures after a cold, wet start to spring. Peak summer weather arrives fast. Then, Halifax at a crossroads. That's the message from Mayor Andy Fillmore at the State of the City address. And gambling ads galore. A wave of sports betting ads are flooding NHL hockey broadcasts.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Jesse Thomas.
Good evening. Temperatures in parts of Nova Scotia and in New Brunswick pushed the mercury up to 32 degrees today. It prompted heat warnings and record daytime high temperatures. It's peak summer temperatures already following a cold, damp start to spring. CTV's Jonathan McGuinness went to one of the region's hot spots today and has this story.
Summer-like weather has finally hit the Maritimes.
Never too hot.
A little too hot for me, I think. I like a nice ice drink to cool myself down.
After a cool and damp start to spring across the Maritimes, temperatures jumped into the mid-30s today, with the humidex making it feel even hotter, breaking 90-year-old records in some areas around the region.
As you know, the Napas Valley can get pretty hot.
The coordinator of the King's Regional Emergency Management Organization is keeping a close eye on the thermometer.
Make sure you take care of each other, and if you know people that are vulnerable, the seniors, or maybe by themselves, or people are leaving along, just be a good neighbor, check on them. Make sure the air conditioning is working in your home.
Today's heat doesn't require the opening of emergency shelters, but King's Regional EMO is posting regular updates on social media.
We just want to make sure that the public is aware if there is going to be any extreme heat, and we're concerned certainly with regards to their health.
Actually, we're probably about 41 degrees now.
Catherine Manning has to work where it's hot. Her greenhouses are filled with heat-loving plants like lettuce, tomatoes, and peppers. While the plants are thriving, the humans are being cautious.
We started our day a lot earlier. Today happened to be one of our picking days, and plants wilt quickly in this kind of weather, so we try to get things picked before it gets too hot. We make sure we take a lot more water breaks.
Good advice for everyone, as this first blast of summer-like heat gives us a taste of what Maritimers could be facing in the months to come. Jonathan McGuinness, CTV News, Wolfville, Nova Scotia.
And a wildfire in Port LaBear in Queens County, Nova Scotia, is now being held. The province issued that update just before 9 p.m., saying no further updates would be coming until the morning, but the fire did grow to 3 hectares in the East Port LaBear area, as you see on the map there. It forced the nearby Thomas Rattle Provincial Park to close. The province used its new fixed-wing air tankers along with other aircraft and along with ground crews and local volunteer firefighters to assist and help contain that fire. The province says they'll have another update in the morning. Now, a family home has been significantly damaged after a fire in Nova Scotia's Annapolis Valley this afternoon. The fire started just before 1 o'clock on Lacewood Drive in Kentville. It started in a truck and spread to the home. 2 people escaped unharmed. Kentville firefighters say conditions were extreme while working in high temperatures today. There were no injuries reported. And Tuesday morning, an 11-year-old boy was hit by a car in a Bedford crosswalk, and now police are looking for the driver, who they say left the scene. It happened at Larry Utek roundabout just after 8 a.m. Tuesday. Police say the driver briefly stopped but then drove off. Investigators say the boy was not injured, but they're looking to identify the driver of this gray Toyota Corolla. Anyone with information, or if anyone has any video or dash cam footage from the area that morning, they're asked to contact the police. And Halifax is facing a defining moment. That's the message from Mayor Andy Fillmore in his State of the Municipality address today. The mayor's growing list of challenges is becoming long, and as Callum Smith reports, while the problems are big and the list is long, the plan to solve them is short.
Mayor Andy Fillmore's second State of the Municipality speech was nearly 22 minutes, including many harsh realities.
Halifax is full of those mismatches right now. People who can't afford a home, people who can't get to work, people who can't get a permit through. Not because anyone is trying to stop them, but because the systems weren't built for a city growing at this scale and at this speed.
Pointing to rising municipal taxes, water rates, power rates, and gasoline climbing well above the consumer price index. But has the city grown too fast?
If growth only serves to drive up housing costs or worsen congestion or widen the gap between those who are thriving and those who are being priced out, then we will have failed.
Municipal and provincial politicians, business leaders, and developers are only some of the hundreds who attended. Fillmore repeated his 3 priorities from last year: housing, mobility, and affordability, before adding a 4th, ensuring the city's infrastructure is ready, citing Halifax Water as an example.
If we're not able to house the people that would like to call Halifax home, then we're in a way quietly asking them to leave. So building enough homes fast enough, that's a major challenge.
Fillmore argued faster permits and approvals, more ready-to-build land, and additional affordable housing are needed, but he acknowledged the gap between all the problems and necessary solutions.
We must do both. We must confront the brutal facts clearly and honestly, and we must remain unwavering in our belief that our city's best days are ahead of it.
On affordability, he pointed to the city's ongoing service review to ensure that tax dollars are being spent responsibly.
Moments like this do not come often. The scale of investment flowing into Halifax, the defense commitments, the jobs, the infrastructure demands, this is a generational opportunity, and it will define what kind of city we are for decades to come.
Fillmore said he hoped people would leave optimistic about the city's future. Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
And last night we brought you a story that offered a glimpse as to how long Maritimers are waiting to get a mammogram. The extensive wait times for basic screenings has some women looking to other provinces for help. CTV's Vanessa Wright has more.
Hey, it's days like these Lori Savory is able to fully enjoy. Back in October, she was given a referral to get a mammogram after she noticed a lump in her left breast.
But the appointment for the diagnostic mammogram wasn't until late January of 2026. So I was going to have to wait from early October 2025 until late January 2026 before I even knew if there was a problem.
That's when she went on Facebook and saw people traveling outside the province for a mammogram. So during a trip to Toronto in November, she found a private clinic. Within 2 hours, she received multiple mammograms, and within 24 hours, she got her results.
I found out that there was nothing there, no problem, no need to worry, no need to be concerned, no cancer.
It cost her $400 out of pocket, but she says a small price to pay for peace of mind.
I needed to save myself months of stress. I've had friends and family members who've had breast cancer, some of whom passed away. And I knew I wouldn't be able to take that stress for that long.
It's a reality more Nova Scotians are facing as wait times for screening mammograms are well over a year in the Halifax area.
Mammograms are a basic. You can self-refer. It's routine. There's recommended guidelines, and it takes over a year to get an appointment. It's just unexcusable.
Nova Scotia's health minister wasn't available for an interview, but told CTV News in a statement the workforce shortage is the most significant factor impacting wait times.
Whatever the reason is, whether it's workforce, whether it's diagnostics, whether it's machinery and infrastructure, it needs to be addressed.
The Canadian Cancer Society says it's time to look at creative solutions.
For example, creating a school for medical radiology at Dalhousie University. We are also looking at other provinces and territories of their approaches. And so is there ways that we can share our resources differently? Is there a way of delivering care differently?
After getting her results, Savory decided to give up her January mammogram appointment to the next person.
Hopefully by me taking that step, somebody else then who couldn't take that step had an opportunity to get there sooner.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
And the college and university school year is wrapping up around the region, but for post-secondary students, academics is sometimes the least of their concern. Researchers from Nova Scotia and the province of Alberta have found a troubling number of students are struggling to find a place to live while studying. CTV's Emma Convey has the story.
As students head to class and meet up with friends, for some, there's a reality few can see: homelessness.
Couch surfing, sleeping in 24-hour student buildings, staying in their cars, or just sleeping in very precarious housing situations where at any point their housing could be removed from them.
Emily Berg is a lead research associate for a national study on student homelessness. They found 40% of students across Canada experience hidden homelessness.
About 32% of students in Nova Scotia were experiencing that hidden homelessness. 32% of students also said they were at risk of homelessness, so at any given point they could lose their housing.
Reasons vary from domestic violence to an inability to afford rent, coupled with daily expenses.
Way too expensive. It's way too expensive.
Cost of tuition, like plus the fact that you have to try and find somewhere in Halifax, which is like one of the highest rates of rent in the entire country. I would not be shocked about couch surfing. I've considered couch surfing instead of paying my rent.
The survey also shed light on the mental health cost of being homeless.
They had to worry about school. They had to worry about where their next meal was coming from. A lot of the students, specifically at Nova Scotia, about 50% of students out east were accessing the food bank while experiencing their homelessness.
The Dalhousie Student Union says this is a common issue they see, and students aren't able to participate socially, economically, or professionally if they're struggling with basic needs.
Recently, I met a student who came to my office hours, and they said to me that they've spent 2 nights in the university. They didn't eat anything for 4 days because of the problem of economical problem.
Students are encouraged to come forward as there are resources to help. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
And a public presentation last night aimed to break down some stereotypes got underway.
We just need to do more of what you're doing tonight. Bring people together, have conversations. That actually generates safety and well-being.
A few dozen gathered in Halifax at the Cathedral Church of All Saints for a discussion on toxic masculinity and some of the unhealthy norms that surround it.
There's a lot of pressures on young men and all men about the kind of men that they have to be, and we know that those pressures impact their health and the health of their peers. So we want to try to disrupt those norms and help them see themselves as a different kind of men.
Some studies have shown there's a strong link between adherence to many traditional masculinity norms and gender-based violence. The joint presentation by guyswork.org and restorativlab.ca hopes to decrease the harmful behaviors and work and help men develop an understanding of healthier relationships.
Get the Maritimes top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
All right, still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast. Some record hot temperatures were recorded today right across the Maritimes. But next, how hot is the housing market?
I know some of my clients said they were just going to wait on the sidelines and see what was going to play out.
We head to New Brunswick to see where the real estate market is heating up this summer as it approaches. Stick with us. More news on the way.
With Aaron and Peter. It's time to complain about the people we love, the little things they do that annoy you.
That's just after 7 and the $1,000 minute jackpot edition.
Welcome back. Home sales in New Brunswick saw a sharp drop last month compared to April of last year, but some realtors in Moncton are saying the market isn't cooling off completely, even as high prices and interest rates put pressure on the market. CTV's Derek Haggett has the story.
According to the Canadian Real Estate Association, just under 800 homes were sold through realtors in New Brunswick in April. That's down 13% from the same time last year.
Yeah, it's a significant drop in sales volume for sure.
Yeah, straight numbers are numbers, right? They don't lie.
Home sales in the province were 9.4% below the 5-year average and 5.8% below the 10-year average for April. Fredericton was down 4.4%. St. John down 8.3%, and Greater Moncton was down 10.5%. A steady flow of new listings means there's more inventory than usual.
There's more sellers getting into the market than buyers, and it's the first time that we see that in the last 5 or 6 years.
Gallant was predicting a stable market for 2026.
But because of rising prices, oil prices, uncertainty in the world, I know some of my clients said they were just going to wait on the sidelines and see what was going to play out.
Realtor Ryan Davison says there's two sides to the story.
Because we're in a balanced market, it's actually a very healthy place to be. I know that may sound a little strange, but it is true.
What's clear to both realtors is the housing boom experienced in the province during the pandemic is over.
You were selling by video, sight unseen purchases. Obviously, we've gotten away from that when we jump 5 years forward.
As far as home prices go in New Brunswick, even though fewer homes are selling, the price has remained relatively the same. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
Okay, time for a quick break, but when we return, your complete maritime weather forecast. Kaylin's back with all you need. We'll stay with us because there's more news on the way as well. And welcome back. Some record heat had some people changing up their wardrobes today, but not Kaylin Mitchell in the Weather Center or myself.
Always in the suit.
You do have some records there behind you. Kaylin's here with the forecast. How's it looking?
Well, of course, we had a scorching hot day today for parts of the Maritimes. In fact, hot enough that we set high temperature records in all 3 maritime provinces, including in around all 3 provincial capital areas. Now, this heat, though, it's coming to an end tonight. It's going to be more on the seasonable side as far as temperatures go through the end of this week. Why are things changing? Because we have a little cold front that's moving through. Wasn't a lot of weather around that front. There was basically a chance of an evening shower, and in behind it just a few clouds for the rest of tonight. But it is putting us over into a northwest wind, and that northwest wind is going to be drawing on some cooler air that's located up around Hudson Bay right now and bringing it into the Maritimes. In the forecast for Thursday, the weather conditions pretty fair. Mostly sunny to a fair weather mix of sun and cloud. Breezy northwest wind, as I mentioned. And the wind gusts for tomorrow will be mostly between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. They may peak as high as 50 around northern areas of New Brunswick and some locations in Cape Breton. Low temperatures for tonight are falling down to around the low to mid single digits for the province of New Brunswick, down to around 6 degrees for Prince Edward Island. And most of the low temperatures for Nova Scotia tonight, between 7 and 11. Here's the high temperatures in the forecast for tomorrow, for Thursday, and big difference compared to much of the first part of this week. And we've got highs 11 to 15 degrees in the north of New Brunswick, 16 degrees in the forecast for Fredericton, 15 for St. John, and then 16 degrees for Moncton in the southeast. Here's a look at your high temperatures for Prince Edward Island for tomorrow, and they're mostly going to be held between 10 and 13 degrees. That's actually a little bit below average for the last part of May. And same thing goes for some of these temperatures around Cape Breton and parts of the east of mainland Nova Scotia. Most of the highs will top out between 8 and 12 degrees. Amherst for tomorrow with a high temperature near 14. 14 for Truro. City centers Halifax and Dartmouth near 16 degrees. And in the Annapolis Valley for tomorrow, high temperatures closer to 15, and we'll be around 13 for Digby and Yarmouth. And on the south shore of Nova Scotia, most of the high temperatures between 13 and 16 degrees. Let's talk about the extended forecast as we approach another May weekend. And there's an area of high pressure that's going to be moving into place Friday and around for much of the weekend. So it's more sunshine in the forecast for New Brunswick Friday and Saturday and Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures do start to climb through the weekend, could be back into some 20s on Sunday. And then after that, temperatures cool on Monday with some rain and some showers in the forecast. And we'll want that wet weather because it'll have been a bit of a dry stretch by then. And then after that, there's a chance of showers on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. For Nova Scotia in the forecast, mostly sunny on Friday. High temperatures around the mid-teens, mid to high teens on Saturday. Sunshine expected. On Sunday, it'll be a mix of sun and cloud with high temperatures up to around the high teens. And then on Monday, some rain and showers with highs near 12. After that, on Tuesday of next week, it's a chance of showers, and Wednesday with a chance of showers. And for Prince Edward Island, coming up on Friday, it'll be sunny. High temperatures near 12. On Saturday, sunshine, highs near 12 degrees, up to 16 on Sunday. Mostly sunny. Rain in the forecast for Monday, and then chance of showers on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Jesse.
All right, back to some seasonable weather, and Kaylin will be back later with your wake-up weather. But for now, we'll take a quick TV timeout. Don't go anywhere. There's more news ahead.
A night of music, heart and hope. The RWK Telethon Tribute Show featuring Neon Dreams, Renee Smith, Wolf Castle, Ian Janes and more. Celebrate RWK patients, families and community. Saturday, May 30th at 7 p.m. on CTV.
Welcome back. With the Montreal Canadiens carrying Canada's hopes into the round 3 of the NHL playoffs, even more people will be watching the games, and that means more viewers will be subjected to the flood of sports gambling commercials. Questions are being raised, however, about the impact of those constant ads. CTV's Ryan McDonald has more.
Did you win? Well, let's just say the next round of omelets is on me, fellas.
Ads like these have been everywhere during this year's Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's been like that for years now.
It's been really good to me, and like I said, I don't bet big.
Warren Tobin doesn't mind betting a few bucks on the big game. He's been doing it for decades.
I just play pro line myself, and that's under Atlantic Lottery Corporation.
Tobin says he too has noticed what he calls a bombardment of commercials for sports betting sites, and while he doesn't use them himself, he has one pretty big, gambling the more old-fashioned way.
I went to schooling at Island Career Academy. I pretty well kind of paid off most of that.
I think Canadians are right to be worried about gambling.
And according to a new Angus Reid poll, they are. It found that more than 1 in 10 Canadians surveyed had placed a wager on a sporting event in the last year.
You've now got a casino in your pocket 24/7.
The poll found that 28% of people surveyed are worried that someone they know personally is addicted to sports betting, and that in 81% of those cases, the person they are worried about is a male.
About 2/3 of Canadians gamble in one form or another, and not many of us go on to develop a problem. But if you're male, younger, and already engaged in multiple other forms of gambling, these ads can be very risky.
The survey also found that 46% of people who bet on sports had used a responsible gambling tool.
I think it'd be much better for us to ask, do we want to expose our entire population to a relentless bombardment of these ads?
Back in Sydney, Tobin says he still plans to have a bit of fun by placing a few bucks on tonight's game between the Colorado Avalanche and Vegas Golden Knights.
If I do win my pro line tonight, Mom's got a nice present. Her birthday is today. Happy birthday, Mom. Love ya.
Ryan McDonald, CTV News.
All right, time now for one last break, but coming up, we'll tell you about a sailing race that's coming back to Halifax. But first, your wake-up weather. Let's have a look outside right now at Halifax, where it's still 21 degrees. Kaylin Mitchell's back with what you need to know in the morning. Stay tuned.
And heartfelt moments. Tune in and donate to the 42nd IWK Telethon for Children May 31st. Your generosity provides world-class care to families across the Maritimes. The IWK Telethon live on CTV.
All right, time now for a quick look at tomorrow's wake-up weather. Kaylin's back. He's got all the details for what you'll need to know as you head out the door tomorrow. Hey, Kaylin.
Nice, calm start to Thursday, Jesse. A mix of sun and cloud in the morning. A lot of morning temperatures around the mid to high single digits, up to around the low teens near Atlantic coastal areas of Nova Scotia. And a bit of a breezy northwest wind across the Maritimes for tomorrow, and that's bringing in some cooler air from Hudson Bay down through Quebec and into the Maritime region. So that's going to bring temperatures down compared to the last couple of days. Most of the high temperatures for tomorrow will be topping out around the low to mid-teens. Jesse.
All right, thanks for that, Kaylin. Back to seasonal weather. I'm fine with that. I'm not ready for that peak summer hotness that we had today. Anyways, a lot of people are ready, I'm sure, for this year's Sail Grand Prix event in Halifax. Although it's still weeks away, it's already being deemed a success because the Racing League has announced the Formula One of sailing will return to the city in 2027. Next May, Halifax Harbour will again host the world's fastest catamarans. The international competition, including a list of countries racing at speeds of up to 100 kilometers an hour. Halifax, back in 2024, remember when we hosted the event for the first time, was voted as the best race venue. Anyways, this year's race on the harbour is set for the weekend of July 20th and the 21st. I know there's a lot of people looking forward to that event. All right, that's your late news for tonight. Just a reminder, if you've tuned in late or if you'd like a second look at any of the stories you saw here, you can always find them on our website. Visit ctvnewsatlantic.ca. After all, it's your home for news. I'm Jesse Thomas. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you again.